Hello everyone and welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I'm going to make a little card, a thank you card for a friend, and I've used an older stamp set which is still current, which is the Dragonfly Dreams, and the paper is from the Share What You Love suite. To start with, I've used the Petal Pink card, and I always cut pieces of card so that I've got lots for card backs and things. And the one I want is Petal Pink. So if I'm making a card from a piece of larger card, what I do is I cut it in half, use one for the card I'm making there and then, and I put the other in my card back envelope. And that means there's always some to choose from. So my base is 11 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. And for those of you who watch me frequently, you'll know that this is going to be like a horizontal card, and I like to have the fold at the left hand side rather than on the top, just so that the card sits nicer and it doesn't splay. Now the first thing we're going to do with this card is we're going to use Versamark to make a pattern on the background. Because I'm using patterned papers, I didn't want to put another layer onto the card, so I'm going to use the Versamark. And a lot of people use this just for embossing, but I like it to give a tone-on-tone colour to the card. And if you don't have the correct ink or anything, nobody would know, because by the time you Versamark it, it looks like you've inked it with the same colour as the card. Now, I'm going to use the larger Dragonfly from the set, and I'm just going to randomly ink over. So I'm just putting Versamark on my stamp, and I'm not doing any kind of a pattern. Hold it for a couple of seconds for Versamark. And you can see after you've stamped, the image is there, but it gets darker as it dries. So I'm only doing just a few little bits. I'm just putting the wings on here. I'm not making any kind of a pattern at all. And I think what I might do is stamp on the inside of the card as well. I'm just going to stamp one though. So I'm going to open the card. This will be the side where we put greetings and our sentiments. So I'm just going to put the one Dragonfly at the left hand side. And there we go, that's all we need the Versamark and that stamp for. Just give it a quick clean on my very dirty chamois. There we go. Okay, now you can see, I hope, on the inside how that Versamark is starting to look like the Petal Pink ink on there. Right, so the next thing we need for the front is the little sentiment stamping at the bottom. And again, I've chosen something from Dragonfly Dreams, and I've chosen Thanks for the Smile and Everything Else. And I'm going to stamp that in Blackberry Bliss. This is one of the colours that's in the returning colours, but it's also one of the colours that's in the Share What You Love paper. Just try that, make sure it's stamping. Yep. Okay. I'm just going to unfold it while I stamp, and I'm just going to put it in this left hand side corner. There we are. Let's give that a clean. Now, the stamp won't clean and take all of the ink off, just because it's photopolymer, and photopolymer does stain with the pinks and the reds and the browns because they've got red in them. So don't worry that you can't get it clean. Okay, and I'll put that down because we don't need that anymore. Now, all the hard work is done. Now it's a really quick and easy card to make. So for the outside, at the front we need 2 pieces of DSP, and we need one of them to be 5.5 by 2.5, and we need a contrasting one to be 5.5 by 2. Now this is actually the same paper, just so happens that I'm using the other side. So my contrasting one is 5.5 by 2.5. No, my main one is 5.5 by 2.5. My contrast is 5.5 by 2. And I'm just going to tape those together. And I've got my snail today for this. It doesn't need anything heavy. It's only paper. Okay. Now to line it up, if you have problems lining up things, use your grid paper. Oop. Wrong side. Okay, and I'm going to go down 1 square, up 1 square at the bottom, and just check that it lines up the same squares going across. And that way you know you've always got a nice even amount of paper showing at either side, and it's in a straight line. Okay, so next I'm going to put this onto the card. And again, you can line it up just the same. I'm going to put mine towards the top. I could put it in the middle, but I like it just a little bit towards the top, and I'm going to put it 2 squares down. So at the other side, measure along for 2 squares down. There we go. And you can see, you can still see a little bit of that Versamark inking that I did, but not too much that it detracts. Okay, next of all, I'm going to use the dies in here. And I'm going to use the blank die and cut that out with a glimmer paper. And I'm going to use the lacy die in the same size and cut that out with Blackberry Bliss card. So I've already gone ahead and cut those. Here's the glimmer paper, which was from the Myths and Magic suite, but you can buy just the glimmer paper on its own now from Stampin' Up. So that's the small blank die, and then in the Blackberry Bliss card is the lacy small dragonfly. And sometimes it can be difficult to get things to stick to the glittery glimmer paper. I like to use Tombow best and just hold it for a while. I know some people use tear and tape, but we're only going to tape such a small amount that for us today, Tombow is better. Now, this blank one, I'm going to just put on an angle across there as though it was flying across the page. And I'm just going to glue it on with the Tombow. You don't have to glue everywhere down. I'm not gluing his little tail there. Okay, and then just choose the angle that you want him to be on. There we go. Now, for the top layer, what I'm going to do is just curve the wings up a little bit. And I'm only going to put glue on the back of his body. Just there, nowhere else. So just a little bit of Tombow, some on his head. And that's it. That's all I'm using. And then I'm going to line the two up. Just hold his body down for a couple of seconds just to make sure that it's gluing. As I say, it does take a little while on the glittery paper. Okay. And don't worry about these wings sticking up when you come to post it, because it goes flat when it's in a card, and when the recipient takes the card out, they will just flip back just a little bit. Okay, and now I need my pearls, and I'm going to cut 3 of the tiny pearls. The tiny pearls are all in a line, so sometimes I'll cut just one off if that's what I need, and sometimes, you know, I'll cut a row. But I just need 3 for on here, and I'm going to put them down his body, or hair body, not sure. how you tell a male from a female here. There we go. And then on the inside, I'm going to put a piece of the matching DSP from the front, and I'm going to have the purple showing. So I'm just going to find my fast fuse, and this piece of DSP for the inside is 5 inches by 3 3/4. But you can make it whatever size you want, as long as it fits. Oh, I put that on the wrong side, never mind. As long as it fits on, that's fine. Now you need a little white piece, and this is 4.5 by 3 1/4. Just stick that into the middle, and then I'm going to use just a little strip that was 1/2 inch long, and I'm going to put it over here. Oh, it's got a little tear on there that I don't like. Let's find another little piece and cut another little piece. I'll just quickly get my trimmer out, and let's have a look in my little bag of bits and pieces. I just need it 1/2 inch. Line it up on the 1/2 inch mark. There we are. And I'm only putting it on the white, and the white was 4.5 inches long, so I'll just trim this to fit. Really quick job. Okay, I'll put some tape on the back, just a little bit in the corner there, and then I'm going to pop it across there. And that's the little card made. I like that with the dragonfly on the inside. I think I might add it to my first card and do the same. So I hope you liked that little card. It's a quick, easy card to make. It'd be nice for like a get well card even, or a birthday card. Whatever sentiment works for you, just change this here. Okay? Thank you very much for watching me. I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.